Leaders, let's talk about the next topic in the Leadership Challenge series. Now, before I delve more into it, I'd like you to picture this situation. Imagine you are speaking to one of your team members. Then they look at you and say, "You know what? Sometimes I feel you don't really listen to what I'm saying." Now, you weren't expecting that. So what do you do next? You can either become defensive or you can become curious. Today, I'd like to speak to you about one of the most underrated leadership skills, receiving feedback. It is easy to ask for feedback, but it is much harder to receive it well. Because in that moment, you don't just know what people think, you show them whether it is safe to be honest with you again. Think about it. You show them whether it is safe to be honest with you again. Now, what are the different ways you receive feedback? You receive feedback through formal processes such as 360 assessment, employee survey, exit interviews, skip level meetings, and performance review meetings with your manager. You also receive feedback through informal way because not all feedback is confined to formal processes. Some of your most valuable insights comes from the conversations that you have every day. So leaders, what kind of feedback are you likely to receive the most? Most feedback centers around a few common themes. Let us explore them. 1. Communication. This is all about your listening skills, clarity, transparency in your communication, and how much are you keeping your team members informed. 2. Trust and empowerment. How confident are you about your team members? Are you delegating sufficiently or are you micromanaging? 3. Recognition and appreciation. Are you acknowledging contribution and do you value people? 4. Fairness and consistency. This is all about impartiality, equal opportunities, and consistency in your decision making. 5. Leadership behavior. How open are you to receiving feedback? How do you handle difficult conversation? How much do you involve people? And finally, team culture. Are you fostering psychological safety, inclusion, trust, and respect? Now, knowing what the feedback is about is one thing. Receiving it is another. Receiving feedback well is one of the hardest leadership challenges. Why? Because sometimes the feedback may be encouraging. Sometimes it is difficult to hear. Sometimes it may feel very unfair. Your first instinct is to explain, defend, disagree, and it's human. But the real leadership challenge lies not in your first reaction, but what you choose to do next. So leaders, what can you do to receive feedback effectively? 1. Focus on the pattern, not the person. If your feedback is from 360 assessment or employee survey, then resist the temptation to engage in detective work. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make is asking the question, who said this? Leaders, curiosity will take you ahead much further. So focus on the message and not the messenger, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Remember, one comment may be an opinion, but a recurring theme or pattern certainly deserves your attention and focus. 2. Focus on the impact, not just the intent. Leaders, intent does not erase impact. As a leader, what matters is not just what you intended, but how your actions were experienced by others. You may not have meant to discourage, frustrate, or exclude someone, but if that's how your behavior was experienced, then it's worth taking the time to understand why. 3. Encourage honest feedback. Thank people for speaking up. When people feel heard and respected, they are more likely to be honest again. When people know they can speak honestly without being judged or dismissed, trust grows and conversations become more meaningful. 4. Act on what matters. Not every comment requires action, but a recurring theme certainly deserves your attention. Focus on 1 or 2 behaviors to improve rather than trying to change everything at once. If your feedback is from 360 assessment or employee survey, let people know what you have heard and what you intend to do differently. When feedback leads to action, people know that their voice matters. Giving feedback is a leadership skill. Receiving it well is a leadership strength. Feedback does not define you. It's how you respond to it does. To start your journey to be the best leader, contact me at mastermindtrainingacademy.org. Wait and watch for the next topic in the Leadership Challenge series. Thank you.